Hey everyone, this is I'm a Dr. Nada, and today we're going to be covering a tutorial that you all have been requesting for a long time. Custom spell icons. Most of you all said that you would be creating an icon based on Gail's cat, so be sure to share the names of your mods in the video comments. Let's get started. For step 1, make your spell using my video on the screen and in the video description. I made an Elastosis splash spell, with Elastosis being the microscopic feature associated with wrinkles, which you all voted as preferable being under only one of your eyelids. I called it spell_elastosis splash. This beautiful slide shows you what elastosis looks like on high power on a microscope. For step 2, we're going to be doing steps similar to what we did in my prior custom class icons video, which is shown on the screen and is in the video description. If you prefer a text tutorial, refer to it in the pinned comment for unfettered access, well, considering supporting me on my Patreon. You have to get a JPEG file for your desired spell icon using either ChatGPT, Gemini, or just good old creativity in Paint. We're only going to be using one image for this tutorial, but you can always use more than one if you want, like what most people do when they're trying to treat their wrinkles with multiple different things. Sadly, the quality of many over-the-counter products varies. Studies supporting an agent helping with something doesn't necessarily mean much if the quality of what you buy or the amount of the active ingredient doesn't really quite match up. For step 3, we need to convert our JPEG to a PNG format, which is required by the toolkit. We also need to create 3 resized images named after your spell, which is done similarly for my class icon video. Make 380 by 380, 144 by 144, and 64 by 64 pixel images using Photoshop or your favorite editor, and then name them after your spell, which here will be Spell Elastosis Splash. I put each of these files into a unique folder so I don't have to rename them down the road, which will increase the risk of errors. Like what ultimately produces elastosis, which is UV damage from the sun, which can increase the risk of genetic errors in the cells in your skin that can also increase the risk of other things like skin cancer. While the wrinkles themselves are generally considered harmless, except maybe psychologically, they can co-occur with things that are a little bit more problematic. For step 4, we're going to start importing our images into the toolkit and your mod. Open the UI assets converter, well, like in the video. For part A, we're going to import the 380 by 380 images, which are going to be for the tooltip icons. In the converter, add the file that you're going to be using for this icon, and then set the output subfolder to tooltips/icon as shown on the screen, and then click OK. For part B, we're going to import the 144 by 144 image for the controller UI icon. In this case, we're going to set the output subfolder to be controller UI icon/skills_png, or what's shown on this screen. For step 5, we're going to import what we need for the 64 by 64 image, which requires making a new image atlas. For part A, open up the Texture Atlas editor by clicking on the button, then make a new texture atlas. For part B, change the descriptive names to Spell Elastosis Splash, and then click Save. For part C, we import your 64 by 64 image for the hotbar. Click Add Entries in your Texture Atlas editor, select your 64 by 64 icon, and then click Save. For step 6, we ensure that your spell uses your imported icons and you stay connected by subscribing to my channel. Open up the stats editor, go to the file for your spell, so mod spell data projectile for my spell, then set the icon field to your imported icon, so Spell Elastosis Splash. As easy as putting on sunblock if you're planning to go outside and spend quite a bit of time out there. Trust me, your skin will thank you. Plus, you'll get fewer wrinkles that way, because the best way to treat wrinkles is to not develop them at all. Step 7 is optionally giving a custom class your new custom spell with a custom icon, which I cover in a prior video, which is shown on the screen and is in the video description. For step 8, we're going to go straight to testing and learn how to use console commands to give your character in the game in the toolkit your spell directly. This is very helpful for speeding up testing. For part A, load a level and launch it in the toolkit using my prior video shown on the screen and in the video description to see how to get started. We'll use basic level A since we don't need a class to do this. For part B, we'll give ourselves the spell using the console, so press Ctrl-Shift F11, then type add debug spell projectile elastosis splash, which you can refer to on the screen. You will now see your custom icon with your spell. For part C, if you had a warning that it didn't load the metadata or something just went wrong, try restarting the toolkit and seeing if that's enough to fix it. If that does not work, you can always delete the DDS files that were imported into your mod folder and then try importing them again. When you're importing them, you can click on the output assets and output assets low res fields to update them after you edited the output subfolder, in case that somehow makes a difference. As you saw, making custom spell icons for your Baldur's Gate 3 mod can be pretty straightforward and just a few extra steps compared to class icons. If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe and consider joining my Patreon to support me and to get more voting power for future videos. It helps me and my family a lot since I am using this ad money to support my family, including my infant son. Thanks for watching and Starship out.
Isn't the cheekiest pup of them all. You'd best have one hells of an apology for me, young man. Oh, the wizard thinks he's smart because he can read. How precious.